Hi, I'm Brenda Smith, Manager for Lab Operations at BC Cancer in Vancouver, including the Cervical Cancer Screening Lab, where we process, analyze, and report cervix screening samples from around the province. Join me for a tour of the lab and see where your cervix self-screening sample ends up. Every day we receive hundreds of samples from around the province. And the first step that happens is a medical laboratory assistant like Katie, this is Katie, one of our lead MLAs, will open the samples up and match the swab and the requisition. It's really important to include the requisition in your envelope, and the requisition is printed on the back of the letter you receive in your kit. Without this requisition, we cannot process your sample, or there'll be a significant delay in processing your sample. You need to record your collection date in two places, one on the patient label on the swab and in the field on the requisition. Seal the swab up in a bag, put it in the envelope, and return it to the lab. And if you forget, all of your tasks are listed on the back of the envelope. The swabs are dry when they're received in the lab. We will swirl the swab in liquid, and that will preserve the cell. It's important that you return your sample to the lab in as short a window as possible after collection. PCR, or polymerase chain reaction, is the gold standard for testing for viruses such as HPV. The vaginal cells collected on the swab are now in the preservative, and these tubes are loaded onto the PCR institute. And the PCR will run through its automated processes. If no HPV DNA is found, we will report your sample as negative. And if HPV DNA is found, then we will report it as positive for one of the 14 high-risk types that we test for. It's important to know that every sample contains an internal control, and if this is not detected, we will report the sample as invalid, and you will be mailed a new kit for recollection. After testing is complete, we get a report of the results. This is integrated into our lab information system, where we will generate a final report, and this will include individualized recommendations based on your own screening history. Your provider will receive a copy of these results, and you will be mailed a copy of these results. You can also look up your laboratory results on Health Gateway. Thank you for joining us on a tour of the lab. Together, with you taking a proactive step for your health and the work we're doing in the lab, we can put an end to cervical cancer. Order your self-screening kit at screeningbc.ca/cervix.